Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew and today we have something to talk about, okay? Like, I get that Redfall came out and everybody's a little bit disappointed with the overall quality and experience that Redfall brought to the table as a first-party Xbox game. But I'm not going to sit and trash that game or criticize Xbox and demand better because everybody wants to be angry about it. So, first of all, I want to get into this because there's people in the community that clearly don't agree, and you don't have to agree with me. Like, I don't expect you to agree with every single thing I say. But if you're part of this community and you're a moderator, or you're a moderator on Discord, or you've got like close ties to me, like I've given you my phone number, or I have given you a way to contact me directly through my DMs or something, I would appreciate it if you wouldn't come and stir nonsense up in the community. You don't have to like Redfall. You don't even have to play Redfall. I don't care. But what I played from Redfall after paying $70 for that game, I wasn't completely disappointed with that. Now, I'm going to be honest with you about this for a second. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Everybody on the internet was saying the game was about 12 hours. By the time I made it to Hollow Man, I was right around that 12-hour mark. So I was like, man, dude, is this really the last boss of the game? And I really thought that. I didn't read anybody's reviews. I didn't listen to any nonsense. I was like, really, man? Is that it? Dude, I was prepared to give that game a freaking really bad review. Like, I was prepared after that fight to give that game a bad review. But then a whole nother map opened up after that. A whole nother map opened up after that. Now let that sink in for a minute. I spent, because I like to go around and explore and do things in open world games. Like, I like that, dude. I love open world games. I usually do. I usually am a little bit more lenient on those experiences because I can actually get a pretty dang good value out of that. But 12 hours for that game, if it would have been just that little map, yeah, I'd have been mad, dude. I wouldn't have been mad. I would have been extremely disappointed that was shoved up as a AAA banger first party studio game. Like, I would have been like right there with them, but I had to sit there and play through this game myself because I'm not going to jump on some negative hate wagon for any game. And I do more due diligence for those types of games that the community's out there always hating on. I come in and I look at it from my point of view. I put myself in the position of a paying customer and I pay for that game. In my review, I did not recommend paying $70 for Redfall. Don't do that. I think it'll be a fair price at like 40, 50 bucks, but I don't think that a $70 price tag is worth it for that game. So let me get back to this, okay? By the time I got to the second map and it like really opened up and the enemies got like, it got more hectic. It got a lot more fun to play. It was more open and it felt more open. Now, I still don't like the fact that you have to, like, after you beat the game, you got to start over and go through the whole thing again. I don't like that, but I guess you can technically get through that game in about 12 hours. But I mean, the fact that I was able to just play around and stretch that out even further, like, that was cool to me, man. I didn't even really fully experience everything in that game. And I still came away with like, yeah, dude, that wasn't so bad. That wasn't too bad. I don't know what these guys are complaining about. I don't understand the extreme hate that everybody has for Redfall. Now, you can sit there and say that, yeah, Redfall's not a first party quality game. And you're right. You're right. It's 100% more in line with a Bethesda game. From everything I've played from Bethesda, I mean, it fits right in. It slots right into what my expectations for a Bethesda game typically are. And that's not saying, I mean, that's not saying that I give Bethesda a pass or anything. It's just, dude, I give most games a pass because I play them. I just play them and enjoy them. If I enjoy a game and I beat it, dude, that's a good game to me. If I don't beat it, because I've got over 480 games on Xbox, and there's a lot of games on there that couldn't hold my attention longer than 20 minutes. longer than 20 minutes. So I didn't finish them. I didn't review them or anything like that because they didn't hold my attention, man. So I didn't. I don't want to just come out and bash games. I don't want to bash games. I don't want to be that part of. I don't want to be just another YouTuber that sits and parrots every single thing that everybody else says. No, man. I want to make original content. I want to give you my honest feelings about these games. Like I don't need to listen to anybody else's review to know if I'm going to like a game or not. That's the whole reason I started this channel. Like seriously, the whole reason I started this channel because I was not getting what I wanted from those other reviewers because they're all basically the same. If one of the top guys says the game's bad, they all say the game's bad. If one of the top guys say the game's good, everybody says the game's good. And there's a lot of games that these guys have said, yeah, they're great. And I bought them and I was like, yeah, this isn't really that good. And because I'm the type of person that likes to, that once we see something in a preview, like in the shows, I know right then and there if that's a game I'm interested in and I'm going to buy, regardless of what anybody says. Like I already know that. Like I look at them and I'm like, yep, definitely want to cover that game on the channel. Definitely gonna buy that game and play it. I'm that kind of person, man. Like I got to the point where I'm so tired because the thing that pushed me away from other YouTubers the most is the constant negativity and bashing games, especially games I loved. I was like, really, dude, you're going to sit and bash this game and I love it? Like, yeah, dude, no, none of the things you're saying about this game matter to me. Nothing, none of it matters to me. It's not that big of a deal. And so that's what pushed me away from other YouTubers was the negativity. Straight up, that is what pushed me away. And I got to a point with this channel where I was starting to get into that negativity, and I don't want to do that, guys. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want you to leave this channel because you think I'm negative all the time. Why do you think I've 100% changed the way I cover PlayStation? I try not to nitpick it that much. I try to cover it in a 100% bias-free experience. I buy the products, I play with them. I mean, I do. I love my DualSense Edge. I love my PSVR 2. I just don't play it that much, and that's not a big deal. I mean, there will be some content that'll come for that I'll be able to play it. Like my biggest thing, man, is I love Assetto Corsa Competizione, and when I start playing Gran Turismo 7 in VR with the wheel setup and the way everything feels, I'm just like, gosh, dude, the immersion gets broken for me, and I'm like, man, why can't this game, like, why can't the real simulator feel as good as the real simulator? You know what I mean? And that kind of just breaks that immersion for me to a point where I'm like, man, I'd rather just play Assetto Corsa Competizione. If Assetto Corsa Competizione comes to PSVR 2, I will be playing that game a lot. Now, I would just hook up the MetaQuest 2, but once I bought that Ivory software and put it on the PC, like all of a sudden my MetaQuest 2 just stopped working with anything. Like it doesn't work anymore. And I don't have time to sit there and play with it. I'm not going to worry about it. PSVR 2 for me is far more plug and play, so I'll just use that. Hopefully Assetto Corsa Competizione 2 comes to that and we get VR for that. And hopefully when WRC launches this year, we'll get VR support for that as well. And possibly for F1 2023, I might actually buy that. If it comes with VR support, I might actually buy that on the PS5. But there's a lot of people in this community that want to just sit and bash and be negative towards Xbox. And they say they're Xbox guys, but I don't get it, man. I mean, I've grown up, dude. I've played every freaking Xbox system out there. I've played all of them. I was more of a Sony fan back through, you know, Xbox, the original Xbox and the Xbox 360. That I didn't really pay them as much attention as I should have. I was more into the PlayStation exclusives and stuff like that. So I played those, you know. I was a lonely gamer, didn't really get into the whole multiplayer thing, and that's the way I've always looked at Xbox, as more of a multiplayer platform. And the thing is I'm the type of person that likes to stay in the here and now. Like I like to stay in the here and now when it comes to things. Like, yeah, we'll watch the shows. I watch the shows because I'm like, yeah, dude, I want to see what's coming and I want to be hyped for the future. But I mean, for the most part, I stay right here in the here and now. Like, you'll watch other channels and like something like, God of War Ragnarok will come out, and then like 2 weeks later, all those dudes are already banging on about what's coming next, and it's like, come on, man, can we at least enjoy some of these video games at all? And I like the Xbox community for that. That's what I like about the Xbox community. They may not get as many of the same type of games as like PlayStation will get, but they're still getting good experiences. They're still getting solid quality indie titles. So all of these developers got to start somewhere. Like if you start a new job, use this analogy. If you start a new job and you're slow at first and you don't know what to do, and you're walking around, you're moving around, you don't know what to do, you're trying to be useful, but you don't really know what to do. But then as you keep doing that and you keep getting experience, you get faster, you get better at your job, you get to experience more things, and it takes you less time to figure out and to learn how to problem solve and to do all of the other things that make that a better experience. And that's the same way with developers. With these guys, starting out with an indie game, you know how hard it is for these indie games to even get noticed? It's incredibly hard. And if nobody plays those games, those developers don't get to reward themselves with enough funds or resources to turn around and reinvest into making a different product for you. So the fact that Xbox Game Pass does have a lot of indie titles on there, and a lot of these developers that are basically, trying to get out there and get people to play these games so that they can continue to make games and be able to grow their own abilities, like that's not a bad thing, guys. Like I don't think that's a bad thing, and I will 100% defend Xbox until they stop and until Game Pass goes away. Dude, if Game Pass is there, you can bet your bottom dollar I will be there to defend Xbox, because I personally like to see this stuff. I like to see these things get creative. Man, I love video games. I literally love video games. I like to see new things. I like to play new things. I like to get in there and just experience things. That's the thing. When it comes to PlayStation first party games, I do expect a premium product. And that's because I've always gotten that from them. So I expect that from them. That is my expectation. When it comes to Xbox, I love the mystery of Xbox and what I'm going to get and what it's going to be like, and like what is this experience going to do for me when I play it? If I play it single player, is it going to be good? What about if I play it with multiplayer? What if I play it that way? Does it enhance the experience? That's the beauty of Xbox. That's what Xbox brings. That's what it creates. It makes me feel like a kid again, to be able to enjoy things. And I have that. And I have that imagination back for what Xbox brings. With PlayStation, man, I know what I'm going to get. I know what I'm going to get. I know I'm going to get a beautiful looking game, and it's going to be pretty much in the same, either, the corridor game, or it's going to be a semi-open world, or it's going to be an open world, but it's going to be a story-driven action adventure game. And whatever, I love those games. I love playing them. Like I've said before, I usually set aside a whole weekend for my PlayStation games when they come out. And I get through them and I beat them, and I try to cram it all in, and I guess some people could say you don't enjoy them that way, but for me, I do. For me, I do play that way. I feel like it's like the boom, the rush of everything, and I love that. With Xbox games, for the most part, it's the same thing. I sat through Halo Infinite, beat that on the weekend. I love that game. I thought it was incredible, man. Like Halo Infinite is by far my favorite Halo. Well, had a Halo Infinite, Halo Reach, and Halo 5. Halo Infinite's the only one that I've beat. I've never gotten into Halo like I am now. Like Halo Infinite pulled me in. I like that game. I like the story. I like the way they did Master Chief. I even like the way the game looks, man. Like it looked pretty dang good. But here's another thing, man. Like I'm pretty much okay with end of last gen visuals at 60 frames per second. Like I'm perfectly okay with that. I think they still look good. I think they still hold up very well. But we are getting to a point where we're going to want to see new visuals. We're going to want to see new visuals. And I kind of feel like we're going to be going back to 1080p at 60 frames a second, or we're going to be getting, 4K to 1440p to 4K when it comes to the quality modes, guys. Like these consoles are nice. They're great. They have a lot of power, but they don't have a lot of next gen power. You know what I mean? Like they've got last gen power for days, but when it comes to next gen, I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully these new engines can get optimized and they can run better, but we're seeing a lot of games coming out broken, buggy, having some issues at first. They're still charging us full price for them, and man, I stand by it, dude. I don't think any of these games are worth $70, but if that's what the developers are saying that they need for these corporations to be able to continue to invest money into helping them build these games, what do we do, man? What do we do? What do we do? I like to play the games day one. I like to play them day one. I've got a channel that you know I need to be able to create content for and stuff. So that's pretty much where I'm at. I'm kind of stuck with that. So as far as I'm concerned, I will love, defend, and shill for Xbox as long as they continue to put their games day and date into Xbox Game Pass, and Xbox Game Pass continues to go. So, if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate this community.